What's up guys? Welcome to Curious Kingdom. Today we are recapping Netflix movie Extraction 2. After the events in Dhaka, wherein Tyler was shot and fell into the lake, believing it was the end for him, he had no idea that he would be given another chance at life. The strong current carried him away and eventually brought him back to the shore, where a young girl spotted him. Subsequently, he was transported to Dubai. Throughout the ordeal, Nick remained by his side, anxiously awaiting his awakening. When Tyler finally regained consciousness, he had to spend a considerable amount of time in the hospital for physical therapy. His body had suffered severe injuries, making it difficult for him to walk again. One day, while Tyler was still in the hospital, Nick paid him another visit. Tyler felt a sense of helplessness due to his impaired mobility, compounded by the fact that he had previously desired death to join his son in the afterlife. Therefore, he couldn't comprehend why he was still alive. Nick reassured him that there must be a purpose behind his survival and encouraged him to discover it. Meanwhile, in Kajori, Georgia, a man named Zurab was observed feeding the goats. Another man, Ari, informed Zurab that his brother's prison sentence would be extended by 10 years later that day, following a visit from the governor. Despite the governor's affiliation with Zurab, he still authorized the extension of Zurab's brother's sentence. Maintaining composure, Zurab requested the governor to accompany him for a conversation. Unbeknownst to the governor's impending fate, they walked together, heading towards a grave that Zurab's men had prepared. While Zurab stabbed the man with a pitchfork, his accomplices took care of the governor's guards. After being discharged from the hospital, Tyler was required to wear leg braces and an arm sling. Nick and Yaz accompanied him to his new residence in Gemünden, Austria, a generous gift from them. Nick presented Tyler with a small box containing his cherished belongings from his previous home. As Nick departed, Tyler inquired about their future meetings, unsure whether retirement would hinder their reunion. Tyler wondered if he would see Nick again. Little did he know, their paths would cross again in due time. Within the prison, David, Zurab's brother, visited the room where his wife and children were also in prison. David couldn't bear to be separated from his family and utilized his authority to have them locked up with him, citing safety within the prison walls. However, his wife, Kevin, detested the situation and repeatedly urged him to find an alternative hiding place where they could be free and not confined to an unsafe and unhealthy environment like the prison, especially considering their children's well-being. In a moment of frustration, David slapped Kevin before leaving the cell, leaving her silently sobbing. Their son, Sandro, witnessed the incident and approached his mother to provide comfort. Upon returning home, Tyler spotted an unfamiliar man on his veranda. Curious, Tyler approached the man and inquired about his identity. The unidentified man, aware of Tyler's identity and his exceptional skills, deliberately taunted Tyler about his condition to test his abilities. In response, Tyler demonstrated his precision by shooting the man's cup with precision. The man then revealed that someone known to Tyler, Mia, his ex-wife, wanted to enlist his help. Mia's sister, Kevin, was in a dire situation, trapped in an abusive marriage. Tyler was requested to rescue her from her husband. The man also divulged information about David, Zurab, and Surup, who were born during a civil war in Georgia. Fleeing to Armenia, their family sought refuge with their uncle, Tandil. However, even in Armenia, they faced danger and resorted to drug trafficking and violence from a young age. Eventually, they formed a powerful gang called Nagazi, influencing the country's politics and recruiting loyal members. After providing Tyler with this insight, the man warned him to be cautious and proceeded to depart for the Amalfi Coast. Meanwhile, Nick conversed with someone over the phone before Tyler contacted her to share news about his new mission. Concerned for Tyler's well-being, Nick discouraged him from pursuing it, given his recent brush with death. However, Tyler argued that the mission was an opportunity to uncover the reason behind his second chance at life. He had dedicated himself to rigorous training and regained his physical prowess. 6 weeks later, Tyler was prepared for the mission, with Nick and her brother Yaz offering support. Infiltrating the prison, Tyler bribed a guard to open cell 207, where Kevin and her children were held. As they made their escape, a toy dropped by Nino alerted a prisoner, setting off a chain of events. Tyler fought off other prisoners, strategically planting an explosive to clear their path. With Yaz guiding them, Tyler successfully led the family out. But their escape was interrupted by David's sudden attack. After an intense duel, Tyler managed to injure David and fend him off temporarily. However, the arrival of other prisoners prevented Tyler and Kevin from leaving. They were pursued as they desperately sought an exit. Tyler called out to Nick, instructing her to meet them at Charlie, while he and Kevin fled. Eventually, they managed to elude their pursuers, with Nick and Yaz coming to their aid. However, the Godzes continued to chase them, leading to a collision that forced Tyler and Kevin to continue on foot. They boarded a prepared cargo train, but Tyler had to eliminate the pursuing helicopters. Unexpectedly, the cargo train exploded, but Tyler, Kevin, and the others emerged unscathed. Sandro, having learned of his father's demise, initially blamed Tyler, expressing grief and anger. Tyler explained that if he hadn't acted, it would have been Kevin who suffered the consequences. In a morgue, Zurab mourned his brother's death, consumed by anger and a determination for revenge. He vowed to hunt down those responsible for David's demise. During a plane journey, Nick discovered Tyler's past connection to Kevin as her sister's former husband. Meanwhile, Tyler and Kevin engaged in a conversation, and Sandro secretly contacted Zurab, questioning his uncle about his father's intentions to harm his mother. Manipulating the situation, Zurab shifted the blame onto Kevin, misleading Sandro. Seeking safety, the group arrived in Vienna, Austria, where Kevin planned to find refuge. Nick and her team worked on securing their visas and arranging their escape to a safer location. Sandro confronted Tyler for his father's death, believing that their father had locked them up to protect them. Tyler, realizing the futility of arguing with a child, walked away. Later, Tyler approached Sandro, who was standing on the balcony. He opened up to Sandro about his deceased son, expressing regret for not being there for him during his final moments. He also shared how Kevin endured years with David to protect her children. Sandro finally admitted his mistake and apologized for disclosing their whereabouts to Zurab. Just then, Tyler noticed the arrival of Nagazis and immediately alerted everyone that it was time to leave. While Sandro attempted to send another message to Zurab, Kevin intervened and confiscated his phone. Unfortunately, the peace was shattered when Nagazi's helicopter fired upon them, forcing them to flee to the parking lot for cover. Sandro decided to run to Zurab in a nearby back alley, despite Yaz's attempt to convince him otherwise. Nick and Yaz rushed to the rooftop, and Tyler ascended to the 57th floor with Kevin and Nina. Upon Tyler's request, Nick descended to meet him while Nagazis pursued them. Nick engaged in a struggle with a Nagazi, and both of them fell onto a glass roof, causing Nick to lose consciousness. Seeing Nick in danger, Tyler swiftly saved her from a potentially fatal fall. Zurab approached them and shot Tyler's hand, preparing to shoot again. However, Nick regained consciousness and shattered the glass beneath Zurab, causing him to lose his footing. Tyler pushed Nick towards the balcony below and climbed up as Zurab did the same. Nick and Yaz guided Kevin and Nina to the rooftop to secure a helicopter for their escape, while Tyler engaged in a fierce battle with Zurab on top of the glass roof. Tyler shot the glass roof beneath Zurab, causing both him and the glass to fall. Tyler made his way to the rooftop, where everyone was already aboard the helicopter except for Yaz and himself. Before Yaz could join them, he was shot by Zurab, who followed them. Tyler managed to bring Yaz to the helicopter, but Yaz succumbed to his injuries on board. Zurab, now alone with Sandro, who felt guilty for aligning himself with his uncle, retreated. Tyler took everyone to his home, where Nick mourned for her brother. Mia arrived later and reunited with her sister. Mia approached Tyler outside the room, questioning why he hadn't stayed when she and their son needed him the most. Tyler attempted to offer an excuse, but Mia didn't accept it. A silence ensued until Tyler's phone buzzed. It was Zurab calling, indicating that he couldn't let Tyler go knowing he was still alive. Tyler inquired about Sandro's whereabouts, and Zurab proposed a meeting at the airfield near St. George's Church. Preparing to leave, Tyler declined Nick's offer to accompany him, instructing her to stay with Kevin. At the airfield, Tyler initiated a series of explosions, destroying the vehicles and eliminating Zurab's men. He entered the church, where Zurab and Sandro awaited. Tyler noticed Sandro wearing a bomb vest. Zurab handed a gun to Sandro, urging him to shoot Tyler for vengeance. Hesitant, Sandro's indecision drew Zurab's attention. Suddenly, Nick emerged behind Zurab, providing assistance while Tyler silently signaled Sandro to escape his uncle's grasp. Nick swiftly seized her gun, engaging in a firefight with Zurab. Tyler engaged in a fight with Zurab, who gained the upper hand with assault. Desperate, Tyler grabbed a nearby screwdriver and stabbed Zurab repeatedly. As the battle wore on, Sandro removed the bomb vest, apologizing to Nick. Nick disarmed the detonator, averting disaster. Weakening, Zurab crawled away from Tyler, who pursued him, delivering several stabs. Finally, Tyler dealt the fatal blow, stabbing Zurab in the chest. Holding Nick in his arms, Tyler remained with her until the police arrived. Both Tyler and Nick were arrested, although Nick required hospitalization for recovery. Mia visited Tyler, and the two reconciled. Mia assured Tyler that their son didn't believe his father had abandoned him when he left the hospital room. In fact, their son admired Tyler for his bravery in saving others. Afterward, Mia bid farewell to Tyler. While guards escorted Tyler, they bypassed his cell and instead led him to a secluded area where he met the man from before. Despite Tyler's inquiries, the man once again refused to disclose his name. He informed Tyler that he could secure their release from prison if they agreed to work for his boss. Tyler witnessed Nick stepping out of another car and turned back to the man, pressing for his boss's identity. Amusingly, the man, true to form, withheld the information and departed, leaving Tyler in a state of curiosity. That's all for today, folks. Like, share, and subscribe for more such content. Curious Knight signing off. Stay safe, stay curious.